Welcome to the top 10 most pulled comic books for January 8th, 2025. I'm Mike Spiderslayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. This is the video series where each and every week I share with you some of the comic books that people are really most excited about reading. Now, where do I get this data from? I wind up getting it from LeagueOfComicGeeks.com. This is not definitive sales numbers, guys. This is, again, books that people are putting on their pull list based off of this one website. If you guys love daily comic book content and you've been watching me for quite a while and you haven't hit that subscribe button, what are you waiting for? Let's go ahead and do that now. So with that being said, let's get started. So as always, guys, we start with 5 books that are on the outside looking in, and it must be a light week, especially for DC Comics. This is DC vs. Vampires World War V. This is issue 6. It's 40 pages for the price of $5. The pull list on this is low, man. It's 2,160. So for this to make the list just in general, I think is a stretch, right? The writer here is Matthew Rosenberg, and Pasquale Gualano does the artwork here. Now, I want to know in the comments below, how many of you guys are still reading this, and is it really equal to the original that came out? I thought the original was done quite well, and I liked it, but this one just did not hit the mark for me, and that's why I dropped it. Our second book that's on the outside looking in goes to Sentinels. This is issue 4. It's a 32-page comic for the price of $4. This book has a sad 2,200 pulls attached to it. It's written by Alex Packnadel. The names are not going to change in 2025. It's just not going to happen. And the artist is Justin Mason. When it comes to this book, it's been all right. You get the character by the name of Corina Ellis, who has created this Sentinel program. Right, they're cyborg Sentinels, kind of like maybe like Terminators, and their names are Jumpfire, Lockstep, Sawtooth, and Voivod. I'm so sick. I can't talk. It's just rough to even try to do these name pronunciations. And when it comes to this book, dude, it's like very average. You know, it's all right. It's a fun read. It's a mini series, and it's cool to see kind of like where these Sentinels' previous lives were and kind of what they're going through right now. And will this program be shut down, or will these characters continue to exist? Man, oh man, am I surprised that this book is not in the top 10. It's a Venom book, no matter what. Usually Venom is pretty high up there, but it has dropped. This is the third book looking in. All new Venom, issue 2, 32 pages, $5. This book has 2,706 pulls. That's pretty shitty, in my opinion. It's written by Al Ewing, and the art here is done by Carlos Gomez. And the big shtick about this book is like, who is the new Venom, right? It could be Luke Cage, Rick Jones, who is it? Randy Robertson, right? And the other kicker in this book is like Jackpot and freaking Paul are in this book. Like, why? And they're like watching over Dylan like they're his guardian, right? So I don't know what to expect. I did like the artwork from Carlos Gomez here, so we'll see what this book has to offer. My big guess here is that I think Paul might be Venom. I think that would throw a big twist into it, and then like he gets like super evil and possessive, and I think Jackpot would be forced to kill him. That would be a great twist. I would love that, right? Especially with her history with the symbiotes. Our fourth book that's on the outside looking in goes to Aquaman. This is issue 1. This book is 48 pages for the price of $4. We haven't seen an Aquaman book in a hot minute, and this book still only is getting 2,817 pulls. Listen, I get it. You may not be an Aquaman fan like me, right? I'm not a fan of the fish guys either, but Jeremy Adams is writing this book, and the art is done by John Timms. And I think this is a good creative team. And if you've read other Jeremy Adams stuff, like The Flash, like Green Lantern, like Flash Gordon, all that stuff has been good. So the track record is there. So give it a try, see what it has to offer. That's what I'm gonna do. And our fifth book that's on the outside looking in goes to Batman Dark Patterns. This is issue 2. Now, I didn't read issue 1 just because I've been reading so much Batman stuff. So I decided to take a pass on this series. This one is 32 pages for the price of $5. It does have 3,285 pulls. Still nothing impressive here. It is written by Dan Waters and the art is done by Hayden Sherman. I want to know what you guys think of this book. I think this takes place in the early time of Batman, almost like a year 1 type of storyline. If you like it, awesome. If not, hey, that's cool too. Now we move on to the top 10, and it's nice to see this book in the top 10. Coming in at number 10 is Guer issue 10. That's pretty cool, right? 32 pages for the price of $4. This is a great book, guys. You should be reading it. The pull numbers here is probably a little bit less than a number 10 book, but still, it has 3,640 pulls. The writer here is Jeff Johns, and Gary Frank returns to the art duties for this new story arc. And if you've been following the book, we wind up seeing Tyreek, who's trying to find find a cure for the condition that he has that makes him the glowing man, right? And there's been bounties on his head. There's been people going after him. At the same time, he's developed this family. So this book has a lot of heart at the same time. But now the U.S. Army is involved and they created this robot by the name of Junkyard Joe. And if you've been keeping up with Ghost Machine, you know who Junkyard Joe is. And it looks like they're going to be coming face to face with Guer. So that could make for a very good story. And I think this is the first time we're going to get some type of crossover here. So are you guys excited for Ghost Machine and Guer in 2025? Coming in at number 9, we have the debut of Magic. This is an ongoing series. 32 pages for the price of $5. This book does have 3,673 pulls. Still not overly impressive for a number 9 spot on this countdown. It's written by Ashley Allen. Who is Ashley Allen? And art is done by Jermaine Peralta. Listen, when it comes to this book, I'm sure a lot of people are excited about reading Magic, but at the same time collecting some of these beautiful covers that, Marvel puts together for these sexy lady covers or these good girl covers, right? Because the main cover is J. Scott Campbell. So if you're a J. Scott cover collector, you're going to want to buy this comic book just for that great cover art in itself. So I guess time will tell to see if the story is actually good. But my one thing is there way too many X-Men solo books? Coming in at number 8, I don't know what it is with this book that people continue to buy it. This is NYX. This is issue 7. Or I should say, at least put it on their pull list. This is 32 pages for $4. Maybe because Laura Kinney is in it. I don't know. This book does have 3,722 pulls. Not like it's blowing away any of the other books out there, but I'm surprised it's this high on people's list. It's written by Jackson Lansing, Colin Kelly. The art is done by Enid Abalum. Listen, I just want to know in the comments below why you like it. And if you do like it, I'm not knocking you for it. I just didn't like the cast of characters that were in this book. Like, for me, Prodigy, not anybody interesting. Cinch, Anil, like Ms. Marvel, I felt like was a force. Sophie, I think, is kind of interesting, and maybe Laura Kinney is pretty cool too, but just overall, I don't know. But maybe this is made for really a younger audience. Coming in at number 7, we have Batman and Robin. This is issue 17. 32 pages for the price of $5. This one, finally, we're getting up there. 5,726 pulls. Writer here is Philip Kennedy Johnson. The art is done by Carmen Domanico. That's a tough one. Listen, so when it comes to this, I might be jumping back on board with this one again. People have been saying that this has been pretty good. I think I only missed like one issue, but people continue to read it and they say that it is better than the last one. So yeah, we'll see what happens with it. It looks like Scarecrow is in this one, and they're still dealing with that villain by the name of Memento. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, should I jump back on board? Coming in at number 6, we have Wolverine. This is issue 5. Legacy numbering 397, 32 pages, $5. This book has 5,876 pulls. However, it is finally starting to get better. This one is written by Saladin Ahmed. It's also drawn by Martin Kakulo, whose artwork has been pretty good on this book. We got this stupid little Wendigo kid. Like, I'm not a fan of that. However, what I am a fan of is this adamantium, like, gold version of it. And what happens is it's like taking over everybody that has regular adamantium, right? So like Lady Deathstrike, who was it, Constrictor, and they've been like possessed. Like their adamantium becomes gold, and they get gold eyes. And it's like they were fighting Wolverine in the last issue, and it looks like he's getting possessed by it, and you get to see kind of like where it's coming from and what it's about. So now maybe finally we're moving the story a little bit forward here. So I'm going to stick with Wolverine and see, you know, where we go with it. Top 5 now. Here we go. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, everybody. Ultimate Black Panther issue 12. People are still digging Ultimate Black Panther. Would it be in top 5 any other week? Maybe, maybe not. 32 pages, $5. This book has 6,921 pulls. It's written by Brian Hill, and the art is done by Stefano Casilli. And in this particular issue, we're going to have Moon Knight versus Black Panther. The battle you've been waiting for, right? Who will win? Who will lose? Who knows? However, whoever wins could possibly end the war. But, you know, what happens when that war ends? Does the book end? I don't think so. I don't know. But if you guys are still liking Ultimate Black Panther, that's great. Too much of a slow burn for me. And again, you guys know Black Panther's not my favorite character, but if you like it, cool beans. All right, coming in at number 4, this book is amongst the heavy hitters this week. And at number 4 is Transformers. This is issue 16. This book jumps way up there to 8,521 pulls. It is a $4 comic for 28 pages. Daniel Warren Johnson is the writer, and the art is done by Jorge Corona. And this is it, man. Autobots versus Decepticons versus probably Decepticons. It looks like it's a combiner war. We're going to have the Combaticons, right, go against probably Devastator in this issue, and it's going to be for the ruler of the Decepticons, I guess, right? You're probably going to get Starscream versus Soundwave. Whoever wins is going to rule the Decepticons again. It's just a great freaking book. It's phenomenal. As you guys know, it was one of my top books of 2024. Let's hope it continues all the way through 2025. Coming in at number 3, we have Uncanny XMen. This is issue 8. Legacy numbering 708, 32 pages for the price of $5. Now, this book does have 9,346 pulls, pretty close to breaking that 10K mark. It's written by Gail Simone, and the art is done by Javier Garrón. In this issue, it's not done by Dave Marquez, who is the regular artist here. And this is, I think, the final part to this whole raid on Graham Malkin. And this has been crossing over with X-Men on infiltrating the base of Corina Ellis and trying to get out Charles Xavier from his prison and all those different things like that. And I think what this is leading into is the X-Men event that is happening within all the X titles that is going on. Whether that's too soon of an event or not, you guys let me know in the comments below. And once again, we have these two characters battling out for the top spot. And our number 2 goes to The Amazing Spider-Man issue 65. Legacy numbering here is 959, 32 pages for the price of $5. This book has 11,052 pulls. It has gone up in the pull count. Probably people are curious to see what this story is about. It's written by Joe Kelly and the art is done by Seifu in this issue. Now, when it comes to the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man, I think it's a very safe story, especially the last issue. I thought issue, what was it? 64 was just very much a standstill issue. Nothing like really happened in it to progress the story. And it's very like rinse and repeat. We'll fight a guy, we'll beat the guy, we'll die, we'll come back to life. We kind of see the struggles of Peter Parker with his life and his love life and things like that. What does Joe Kelly do at the end of this? Excuse me, to push the status quo forward for the Amazing Spider-Man when he takes over the run entirely with that new #1. Time will tell. And the #1 most pulled comic for January 8th, 2025 goes to Absolute Batman. This is issue 4. It's 32 pages for the price of $5. This book blows away the competition with 16,364 pulls, written by Scott Snyder. And the art is a different artist this time around, so be prepared. It's done by Gabriel Hernandez Walta. Okay, so that's what you can expect for this particular issue. And I think this issue kind of is taking a break away from the main storyline and kind of establishing on who Absolute Batman actually is, on how he became the character that he is. So this is the origin story of this version of Batman, which I'm really interested about. So far, when it's come to these Absolute titles, I felt like issue 3 of Absolute Superman was fantastic, really cemented me in on continuing the series. And same with Absolute Wonder Woman, like it really got me to buy into the series. Issue 3 for Absolute Batman wasn't the greatest, but I think Absolute Batman issue 4 is going to be a fun issue. So I'm all in for this Absolute world. Are you guys? And now it's time for Spider Slayer's sleeper pick. And this is, I think a lot of people know that this is coming out, but this is more of a reminder than anything. And ranking at number 22, this goes to The Lucky Devils issue 1. Now, this is a 28-page comic for $4. And this has only 1,227 pulls. And this one is done by Charles Soule and Ryan Brown. Now, these are the same guys that did 8 Billion Genies, and this time it's focused around little devils, and they have this little manipulating personality to 20-something-year-old humans. What does that story entail? I really don't know, but it does sound quite interesting. And if you liked 8 Billion Genies and you like that creative team, then you might like Lucky Devils. So I wanted to remind you guys that this book is coming out. Remember, 8 Billion Genies was a huge success, right? And everyone was trying to buy that. So while you have the opportunity, go to your shop and buy it now. So there you have it, webheads. There are the most pulled comics for January 8th, 2025, the first one of the year. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you for dealing with my voice and my coughing and everything else. Still trying to deal with this sickness while doing videos. But if you love the content, I'll leave you more content right here for you to click on. Of course, guys, remember, support the local comic shops. Keep buying, keep collecting, but always remember, read your comics so we can have great comic conversation. And you know what, guys? I'll see you on New Comic Book Day.